Very good evening to our viewers. Thank you for joining us tonight on the agenda. My name is Toiwanja Bella, your host. Tonight on the show, we are joined by Pauline Dempers. She is a survivor of the so-called Lubango dungeons, and we know that the survivors of that dark chapter have come out this week to express their feelings following the passing away of former Army General Solomon Jesus Hawala. And Pauline is here to help us to take us back into history a little bit to understand what these outcries are about. Thank you very much for making time, Pauline. Thank you also for your strength to come to this platform in a moment like this. So I want to thank you really that you strengthened up to come to the platform, and also to please accept also my sympathies for what you and others have gone through, but welcome to the platform.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, wonderful. Tell me about yourself. Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from a village called Gibeon,
Okay.
south of Namibia, between Mariendal and Keetmans.
Yeah.
That's where you find the village, Gibeon.
Yeah.
It's also a village that was very much known. It was actually the hub of politics then during the liberation struggle.
I know. It's a legendary village. The Vet Boys are from that area also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. You were an activist at one point in your time. What do you recall about, what was that activism about?
Well, my activism actually started at home, I must say, with my father. I was still very young, but then my father would bring us to places like here in Windhoek during holidays, and but he would refuse to take out what was known then the pass, the permit to come to Windhoek. And he would pretend to be a worker. My father was a teacher, but he would pretend to be a farm worker, and that the Boer refused to give him a permit to come and take out the pass. So those things will land us in trouble. We will always be taken to the municipality by the municipal police. And around 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, they will come to the houses and come and find us and take us. All of us were taken to the municipality, where today we have got the post office. It used to be post office opposite ShopRite.
Here in Windhoek?
Here in Windhoek.
Okay.
So I did not like that, and I was like with my father, why do you do this? Why should you put us in trouble? And he would always remind me that he's not supposed to carry a pass. It's his country, it's our country. And that's why he was sort of rejecting the system in his own way. He will go into shops or restaurants where it says blankets only, whites only. And he will be chased, and then the police will come. And so we started, and it's where I started to realize that there were white and black people to start with, and that as I grow up, understand that we are under oppression. So it really started at home, and then sort of reinforced when I was a student in Gibeon, where we also rejected with all the other schools the Bantu education. 1976 was a huge strike of students. And that also led to students really flocking into exile, going into exile to reinforce the struggle from exile. So my activism started right at home, and then transitioned into student politics, and then, of course, adult politics when we, in 1978, we joined Swapo as a community in Gibeon. I remember it was Gibeon, Valgras, Beersheba, those places that jointly joined the Swapo under the leadership of Captain Hendrik Voetboy. We joined the liberation movement, but before that, we were very much conscious about what was really going on, and that we, in our own ways, have rejected the apartheid system.
You eventually went into exile, 1983. I read
Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
How did you get? Where did you go, and how did you reach that? What was your route like?
Well, the struggle intensified here in the country, and most of the national leaders were imprisoned or put under house arrest. And then the youth of that time started really pushing and asking to take the space whilst our leaders were imprisoned to go on with the struggle. And that in itself also, there were mixed feelings around that. Maybe the national leadership was not ready to let go. And there were frustrations around that. So some of us decided to go into exile to reinforce the struggle from exile, whether it is at the political front or diplomatic front or military front. So that's how some of us left. I left 1983 in a group of 8. I was the only lady in the group, so we crossed into Botswana. From Botswana, we were taken to Lusaka, Zambia, and from Zambia, we were taken to Angola, Luanda, where we spent like 3 weeks in Luanda, and then we were taken to Lubango. We underwent military training, and from there, things started not changing, but we could not get the sense of that comradeship that we had here back home. And it was tense, and people could not, even the people that knew from home, could not really have a conversation with you around things that you experienced, like you were like, but then, even then, we tried to understand that, okay, we are in a military zone, so maybe certain things are limited, certain rights are limited. But what was limited more also was the freedom of speech to speak what you feel or what you see. It became a problem. We were separated, and before we were separated, actually while in training, people started disappearing. And even from our group, people started disappearing, and when you ask, you don't get an answer, and you are just told to keep quiet. And then this thing continued. People are disappearing. So there was a day that before we came to the training, we were separated already at the information center.
When you say you were separated, that is now the group of 8?
The group of 8. Before we came to the training center, the 2, I was then engaged to be married to Franz Tester. So he and the other guy, Jonathan Joby Friedrichs, were taken away from us, and we were informed that they went in for emergency military training. Only to be called back again from training on my birthday. I was called back and to the information center, and I was asked now about my autobiography. I was given a bunch of papers to go and write, and I did. And when I came back, the officer said, "No, you have forgotten something." And I was like, "But what?" And then I went out again. I read my thing and came back. It's the same thing. And I said, I have read what I know about me, so I don't know what you are talking about. And in that moment,
Who authored that document? Is it something typed up and it was given to you, or?
no, it's not something that was typed out. I was just given a blank paper, number of pages that
you must fill it in.
Yeah, I have to write now out of where I was born and how I have come to Lubango and all that.
Yeah.
And whilst we were talking now back and forth, I said, no, I don't know, maybe unless you tell me what to say. Then an alarm went off, and I knew, I from the way these two guys look at each other, I immediately knew that it was the watch that my fiancé had, which was my watch. And then I asked, where is my fiancé? And then the interrogation stopped there, and I was ordered to leave. And as I was leaving, I cried really, because I could not understand this environment where you cannot get answers. So as I was leaving, I saw his underwear, the face towel and things in what we call the sauna where we would take bath. And I came back to the office and I asked, and then they said, leave if you don't want trouble. So I had to go back. I was taken back by a messenger, and after 2 weeks they came and joined us. But then they could not interact with us. They were just on their own, and then I was really frustrated because I wanted to have a conversation with my fiancé. Then I said, now if that is the case, then let's call it a day. And that's when he took off his shirt and showed me the scars, how he was beaten.
Your fiancé now?
Yes.
So he was alive?
Yes.
Where was he?
He was there. He was kept there. They never went to the military training. They were just kept there, and they were interrogated about this being an enemy agent. So he told me that he was just in our office, and he could hear as I was talking to these two guys. And he said that I must not tell anybody, because they were told that if they tell anybody about what happened to them, they will be killed.
Yeah.
And I said, no, but you cannot keep quiet after such your own people doing this to you.
Yeah.
And, you know, with that freedom that we had here, back home, I really insisted. And then came these guys that were already there, like the Hans Peters, late Hans Peters, Andries Passon, he is still alive, came, and I told them that this is what has happened.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, the struggle that we have joined here is a bit different, and there are people that are infiltrating. And I said, no, it can be, but it's not us. We are not working, and you know that. So Andries Passon then maybe engaged with these guys. So the two guys were brought back to us in the military training.
Your fiancé also?
Yes.
Okay.
They came back, and then, as I said, things were really, people were just disappearing, and then we decided that maybe as things are going now, we may disappear also, as things have also started.
Yeah.
So let's have a child. So maybe that child will one day survive and will come and tell what happened to their parent. So we agreed, and we named her Survival.
Okay.
She's alive. She's here now, so lady on her own. So,
okay.
but that also did not save any of us. So eventually, I was arrested.
Yeah.
And whilst I was in the dungeons, because I remember, and I thought that maybe that is the time that he was arrested, I was called to the office while in the dungeons, and I was asked about him. And in order to survive, I have to deny that we were coming, both of us from Gibeon. I said he's from Keetmans. He came from Keetmans. He was there, although he's from Gibeon. He used to be in Keetmans, so I don't know about his enemy activities and so on. So just to survive, you know. So
Tell me, Ms. Dempers, what was the turning point that led to your arrest? Is it your combative, confrontational nature? Because you are saying that you feel that your freedoms to demand answers and to say certain things were limited. Is that what people maybe started seeing that, no, but why is she confrontational? Why is she... What was the turning point?
Well, being inquisitive maybe, but again, you know, the place where I was, after giving birth to survival, I was put in a camp called Gamadi Base. And Gamadi Base, as I learned later, was known as a place for people that were suspected of being enemy agents. And basically, you kind of languish in that camp. There was nothing to do. You wake up in the morning and, you know, maybe go to the villages to go and get something for yourself or for your child. And so on. So life was very frustrating in that camp. So I went one day to the office and I said, can I perhaps go to the education center, because you have to ask for permissions and what have you. To at least go and read or do something. And Commissar, we used to call them Kayone. He was once a governor somewhere, I think.
Yeah, Saki Kayone.
Yes.
Former governor from Saki.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Kayone then started shouting at me, saying that you people want education only for yourselves and you don't think about other people. And I was like, I just want to go because we don't do anything here. So I left, and after a while, he called me, after a week maybe, he called me and said that from today on, you're going to work in the production center. That's where now you have to work the fields and for vegetables that will be supplied maybe to different places.
Lubango was what? Was it the refugee camp? Was it a military camp? What was it?
Lubango itself is a town, it's a city. But then Swapo was given a space there where Swapo had different camps. We had the defense headquarters, we have several different names, different camps, including training camps, camps for war victims, people that were maimed in the war, that were kept there, and you know, different logistics camps and so on. There were many camps that we had. So I ended up in the Gamadi Base. So I was a bit frustrated. Here I came to go, asked to go and read or do something, and now I'm exposed to hard labor. Kind of, it sounded to me like a punishment for asking. But then I took up the work and I worked there, a blessing in disguise, I must say, because food was very scarce to come by. I could at least have some fruits and vegetables for my kid and myself.
In that moment, your fiancé was where was he?
He was at the front.
Okay.
They went for further training, and after that he went to the front.
Where is he now?
He did not come back. He was arrested after me. As I said, the time that I was called back to the office and asked about him, I knew that he was arrested or he could be arrested. So he did not come back, and I was
from the front.
From the front. He was arrested.
Okay.
You know, the time that I went to the dungeons, that I was taken to the dungeons, he was sick, and he was in the military hospital, Nanyamba Military Hospital. So that's where I left him, and I was arrested 2 days after Survival's second birthday. So Survival was still a baby, and I had to leave her with the neighbors, and yeah.
When you get arrested, because that is the one thing that we don't understand as people who were not there, and who were some of us were. I mean, 1983, 1986, I was kid myself. But people came to you and say you were getting arrested for what? What were the charges?
Mine was different.
Yeah.
You know, I went in the villages with 2 other comrades. Camilo is a Caprivian guy, and Memory. I think she's still around. Camilo also did not come back. And it's one thing that really haunts me like hell. We were in the village, and then these comrades came by, and they offered us a lift. And I said, okay. So we jumped in the car and we left. Camilo was taken in a different, but we did not really care, comrades. So we drove past our camp, and I was like, but where are we going? And we were taken into a bush, and that's where all started. You know, Memory was first taken and left the car. I was sitting there. But then I thought that these comrades also used to propose and these things, and they just said that they are going to buy alcohol. And I said, it's maybe one of those things. But then after a while, I heard Memory talking loud in the bush, and I tried to listen now. And she started crying, and then I could sense that something is not right. They came back, and then we were told not to speak to each other. Camilo, as he was in another car, never joined us. And from there, we were taken to the information center. That was also known as the screening center. And then when we came there, we were separated. I was interrogated alone. Memory was interrogated alone, but you could hear the screams and the cries. When I entered the office, there were like maybe 8 guys and comrades. I was asked to remove my clothes, and I was like, why?
Yeah.
Then they started beating me and said, take off your clothes. And I took off the shirt that I had. I pushed out the sandals I had, and then I stood there. And then they said, take off. So I had to take off the skirt as well. So there I was in my underwear in front of this strange man that I never undressed before. Yeah, and they tied me, my hands at my back, my legs. They put a cloth in my mouth and tied. I was blindfolded, and then the beating started.
What were the questions? They were asking what? What did they want to
Where
get out of?
were you trained?
Yeah.
With whom were you trained? And what is your mission here in exile? And since I did not have any mission apart from joining the struggle to contribute to the independence of this country, I had no clue. I did not know what to say. I was beaten with sticks, and after a while, as I could not respond to the questions that they are asking, I was taken back to the room where they kept me. And there, the ladies were waiting for me with boiled water. And they would put cloth in the water, the boiled water, and then put it on the wounds. It was very painful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It was very painful. But I think that was also a way of minimizing the scars, you know. So the process again started. I was again taken, and the third day, the beating was severe. The same process.
It continued into the third day?
Yeah, it continued in the third day. And I was taken in a room. In that room, I think it was a dark out, but filled with sand. And I could see pieces of sticks with blood. You could smell blood, and I could tell that maybe some people were killed there. It was not a good room.
It was not a good room. We go for just a short break, and then we return with Pauline Dempers.
Thank you.
We continue our conversation with Lubango dungeon survivor Pauline Dempers, telling us about what she endured in those dungeons. So, you were beaten, you were for days, and you didn't really have answers. I suppose if you had answered, maybe on the first day, then the beating wouldn't have continued all the way to the third day or even beyond. So you simply didn't have the answers.
I didn't have the answers until that place where I was, in that room. I was now asked, they first tried to hang me upside down, but they could not do that. And then I was asked to dig my grave. And when I dig, they put me kind of of the head upside down, and that's where I collapsed. Because when I woke up, I was sitting flat in the sand, and there was nobody in the room. And then I sat there for a while, and then they came back, and the beating again started. This time I was not even tied up or whatsoever. They just started beating and even stepping with their boots on me, and very humiliating. I could not cry. Cry so tears could come out. I was screaming, and I got tired of the scream, and I was told that we can kill you. If you don't confess, we will kill you, and we will report to the commander-in-chief, which is now Semniyoma, that we have killed a spy. And I have realized that they were going to kill me, and I had to make up a story. Then I said, okay, comrades, I am an enemy agent. And then they said, yeah, why didn't you say it earlier? Just look how you look now. I was taken to the front office. But again, as I did not know, I had no clue of what the enemy agent is and what the enemy agent is supposed to do.
Yeah.
I said again, comrades, honestly, I am not the agent. And then they started getting again violent, beating me, and then I said, okay, I am an enemy agent. And I started, the first thing that came to my mind, of whom were you trained, was my classmates in, was it Standard 5 or so?
Yeah.
That is the first thing that came to me, and I mentioned their names. And then the narration of the story started, but I did not really know what else to say. I said I was trained with these people, so my mission, I did not also know my mission, and I just said that I came to kill comrades, so how? I had nothing.
But in truth, you were never. You were
Never.
Yeah.
Never. Honestly, never.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you are in a camp, Ms. Dempers, a lot of you, maybe you, dozens of you, hundreds of you, maybe thousands of you, why would they just come to you among all people and say you are a spy?
Well, that's something that they only know why they have done that. But we could see a pattern that, to my own analysis, maybe they were after the minority tribes, because even when I was tortured, I was, when I started to narrate the story that was written by one of the torturers, Makoba, he died, I think. They forced me to say the Cabrivians that were friends to me, I must say now that they are agents, which I did. Otherwise, they could have even maybe killed me, which they did to some comrades. And I was also not allowed to speak my language. So I felt that this is maybe they are maybe targeting us, maybe they are seeing us as strangers, or even when we had these political lectures in training, rightfully so, some of the people that came from the north, we never met, and maybe they were ignorant about all the people in Namibia, so maybe they regarded the north as Namibia. And they would ask, why are these people here?
So people like, because the ethnicity element has also been put around, but people like Oiva Angola, who are not, I suppose he's a Swapo speaking?
Yeah, he is a Swapo speaking person, and that's his ethnicity. Again, these are people that are from Central. The so-called Buddhists. Buddhists, yeah, Buddhists.
So they don't.
But also, there were also people from the north, but especially in the dungeon where I was, there were very few that were from the north. But they were also there.
I want to play a very short clip of Ben Ulenga. He's the former government official here, of course, a liberation hero in his own right, also reflecting on what he thought were the reasons of targeting certain people as spies.
Murdering of a number of people in Swapo simply because there was tribal bias against them. The murdering of especially the people from the south and the center of the country, simply because they were supposed to be spies, and they were spies because they were not Ovambos. If you ask anybody from Swapo right now and you say, but why were these people spies? And how did Swapo find out that they were, how did Swapo find out that they were spies? The answer would be, but because there's no war without spies. And if there's no war without spies, who was going to be spies in Swapo? These people who don't belong. And why don't they belong? Because they're not Ovambo. Why do non-Ovambos not belong?
That is Ben Ulenga. He was, of course, also later president of the Congress of Democrats, saying essentially what you are saying, Pauline, that that people didn't belong, that there was an element of people being suspected merely for not being Swapo speaking, which was predominantly the group that was there. So it's not like it's not only you who had that perception that maybe that was the reason why you were targeted.
Could be one of the reasons.
Yeah, one of the reasons.
Yeah, that has also really had a very bad impact on us. If I look at people that came from the south to join the liberation struggle in exile, maybe 90% of them ended up in the dungeons.
Yeah. Do you admit that spies did exist? Maybe the specific people were wrongly and unfairly accused, but do you accept that spies did exist? Even in Swapo itself, people infiltrated the system to spy on the party, on the movement.
If there were spies, then definitely they were not in the dungeons.
Yeah.
They were somewhere else. They were maybe out there. But in the dungeons, I can put my head on the block. There were no spies in the dungeons. People that were in the dungeons were people that were forced through torture to say what the torturers wanted us to say.
Yeah.
And many people succumbed as a result of that. But some of us survived.
What is a dungeon? I've never conceptualized. I just have this image in my mind. What is a dungeon actually?
It's a underground prison, I must say. It's a dugout, a very deep one. There are small window-like openings, but in those openings they would put a brick. So ventilation also was a problem in there, and up at the roof, they would, during daytime, they would open like a space, maybe 50 meters open, and that's how we could get
Some air.
some air. So that is.
There are beds. There are beds. So where do people sleep?
There were no beds. We had to take these cartons, the boxes, and
Card boxes.
make them card boxes, make them our mattresses, and that's what we slept on. And those that were fortunate to be arrested with their belongings, and like blankets, we could share that. Otherwise, there were some bags that where they supplied this rice or maize meal in those bags. We would take those bags and make them our blankets.
Did they separate men from women?
Yes, they did. Men were kept separate and women were kept separate.
In terms of food and water?
Food was very, very scarce. We would eat once a day, and like if we get rice, it was like a cup of rice. There is nothing else. You eat that rice, and maybe then porridge. So that was the routine. If there is maybe some relish, they will put like maybe 3 or 4 tins of beef or so in water. So soup was almost like water that we used to go around without being detected, just in the camp where we were kept to look for some greens, maybe to add to what we were eating. So it was rough. Sometimes we had to steal from trucks, and I think that was also a psychological torture.
Yeah.
They will bring in food with trucks. We will offload these trucks with rice, beans, maize meal, tins of fish and what have you. And the next truck will come and take these things out.
Yeah.
So we have to again load these trucks. So psychologically they were really torturing us with this. We see food, but we will never get the food.
So you were guarded during those times, because I suppose people could escape, or how did you move around?
24/7 we were guarded.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were guarded, and sometimes there were some few guards. There was a secretary, we call him the Secretary Castro was his name, and one elderly person. They were like, they maybe understood, or they maybe had pity on us. Sometimes they will see us doing what we're not supposed to do, but will
just look away.
Yeah. You know, even when we were stealing from those trucks, tins of beef or so on, they will be there standing, but they will not do anything. So, yeah, that.
So there was the only process to establish the truth, whether you were an enemy agent, was through physical interrogations. There was no due process where you could appear before a normal committee and maybe even with a representative, a person who can say, look, I know Pauline, she's definitely not that. It was mostly physical harassment.
It was physical harassment, and that was it, you know. Yeah. The only time we were told by late Sam Nujoma, the first president of this country, was while he was visiting us in the dungeons, he said that we will be put on the firing squad, and the people of Namibia will decide what to do of us. So yes, but after we came back, this process did not also happen. Where people of Namibia were given the choice, where we were maybe paraded to say that here are the people that betrayed the struggle, because that's how he would always insult us, saying that you have delayed the struggle, and I mean you have betrayed the struggle, and by betraying it you have delayed it. Those were the words always coming from him.
And I want to venture into that next, but before that, how did your dungeon ordeal end? How long were you there? Did you come out, and when you came out, you were transported to Namibia to get rid of this spy, or how did the whole thing end?
Moses Klarweb came to bring the message that we were free and we will be released. That was in January 89. But the names that we are carrying will be with us, and there will be no second chance if we want to again want to betray Namibia. There will be no second chance. And apart from that if there are people out there that may want to tarnish the name of Swapo, we must report them to the nearest police station or to the nearest Swapo office. Those were the words that we were released with.
And then you were repatriated then? We
were repatriated. First we were taken to a camp where we spent few days. Whilst there, we have decided that so far with Swapo and no more. We just wanted to come back to Namibia. And then Jesus Hawala came to the boys and to the men where they were kept after being released, and they started to break off the buildings that they had for them, and then these guys ran away, hid in the villages and in the bushes of Angolans. And after that he came to us and he said that, do we want to go and join the boys? By then we did not know really what happened there. And we said, no, we want to go back to Namibia. And then he left, but then he got the news, we got the news, and then some of us decided to walk to that camp that was maybe 15 kilos from where we were staying. So we decided, and we walked And when we came, we have seen that they were really living in the bush with no protection. And after that, we came back to the camp. By then, some of the guys went to Lubango to go and search for maybe a Red Cross office or the UN office to tell them what is happening to us and seek for protection. And that's when the Angolans came. And Angolans actually came also with after we released Herman Tuevo, came with a delegation of journalists. And that is there when we said that we have parted ways of Swapo. We don't want to be with Swapo. And the same did the guys do. And since then, we were really not protected. But then the Angolans came with the Red Cross, and we were taken out from the Swapo camps to a camp that we think that was the war victims camp, now Angolans. We were kept in the tents there. And it was also very difficult with the UNHCR to be repatriated because they did not want us to come back to Namibia, but that we become refugees in the world, that they will give us scholarships, they will do this, they will do that. But then we decided that no, there are so many refugees in this world, but what would be special about us, you know? So we insisted to come back.
Okay.
We had to stop UN vehicles when they came to our camp and, you know, protest, and that's how we were really repatriated back on 4th of July, 1989.
1989. Jesus Hawala passed away this week, and your organization, Breaking the Wall of Silence, issued a statement, and you didn't have kind words for him. You think that he's going to his grave with not having accounted properly. What did Jesus Hawala do?
Well, I personally wouldn't want to isolate him from the rest because he was carrying out the order that was decided upon by Swapo. So we cannot look at Jesus Hawala as this one man that has just come to brutalize and to torture and to kill Namibians. No. We should put it in the context that these atrocities happen because Swapo has to own up to this because, as I said, Jesus did not do this out of his own. It was a decision taken somewhere, maybe in the Central Committee or the Politburo of Swapo, that they should look for spies. Unfortunately, the way they were doing was just to kill Namibians. So, yes, he was brutal, but he was carrying out a task. He was implementing what he was ordered to do. So I really, like the first president of this country, Sam Nujoma, was the commander-in-chief. If Jesus was doing this on his own as an individual, was he not in a position to stop him?
Yeah. So Jesus presided over these things. How? What was his position?
He was in the military council, and he was also the army commander. He was also part of the intelligence. So he was sort of spearheading this thing, and yeah, that was his involvement. But as I said, I wouldn't put the blame on him. I remember Sam Nujoma coming to the dungeons. Of course, maybe in my presence the third time was when Namibia was about to become free. And this time around, we were taken out from the camp into the bush. And we were scared. We were like, maybe we are going to be killed because this was out of the ordinary. And then he asked us if we want to go back to, after insulting us with this delay, the struggle and so on, if we want to go back to Namibia or whether we want to go back to our bosses, meaning now South African apartheid regime. And I said, we are going back to Namibia. And it's then that these men that were standing behind him moved into us kind of close by, very close by, ready with their guns. And I was like, here I have heard that Namibia is gaining independence just to die.
Yeah.
You know, that it was very close. And my appreciation really goes out to one lady, Ilona Amakutua, who then speak out. And she said, President Nuyoma, you are surrounded by graves that you did not witness of innocent Namibians. But this grave that you are about to create is the grave that you will witness, and it's the grave that you are going to answer not only to our families, but to Namibia. That was a distraction, you know, and just because of that voice, we were not killed that day.
Wow. There's been mixed reviews of Jesus Hawala when he passed away this week. People saying, of course, people like yourself saying he was a brutal man. Others are saying he was a hero of the liberation struggle, to the extent that the president has now bestowed the hero's funeral upon him, even amid the ongoing moratorium on state funerals. What do you think of the suggestion that he was actually a hero?
Well, he is, in the eyes of Swapo, he is a hero because he has done the unthinkable for Swapo. He has killed people on behalf of Swapo. He has kept the people in the dungeons on behalf of Swapo, amongst others. So to them he is a hero, but to us he is a brutal killer. So it's unfortunate that the resources of this country has to be spent on him. Not so deserving. Yes, but many like him, like there are so many that are in this hero's acre that are not deserving that space. But history will tell, and the future generations may unearth them and put them at places where they belong.
Yeah. The final question to you, Ms. Dempers, is then this suggestion that there should have been some sort of owning up, even from Swapo itself, over those brutalities. And others say, but you can't, like I wrote in one of my editorials this week, that of course Namibians need answers. There are people who were killed by the South African regime, who were maimed, who are out there today, and who also deserve justice from the other side of this war. Is it prudent that we call both parties to the table, or what is with this idea that somehow only Swapo must account for their actions when the war was fought by two parties?
You know, it's not us that are saying that only Swapo should account. Swapo has made a deal with South Africa apartheid regime by having this amnesty clause where they have kind of like scratch my back and I will scratch yours kind of a deal. So they have made a deal not to talk about it of Swapo as far as the atrocities that were committed by South Africa, which has got nothing to do with us. We are not part of that decision. And what we are saying is that it's not like we are asking it out of the blue. We are saying, and we are not even going for a revenge. We are saying, let's restore our dignity. Let's sit down And through a process of restorative justice, let's deal with this.
Yeah.
Let's look at, we have seen what we have done to each other. You have killed so many people. Here we are as the witness of that atrocities that were committed. We are the survivors. We are not even pointing that in their face. What we are saying is that let's take the route of restorative justice and deal with our transitional justice issues by looking at the impact that this has on us. There are so many Namibians who did not return from exile. This Saturday, tomorrow, there will be a candle lighting for someone who did not return.
Yeah.
These are, it's very painful because these families are waiting, they are waiting and they are waiting for their loved ones to return. I don't know how that ceremony is going to take place in the absence of even bones of this person. But he will be remembered by his family, and some of our people will be there. So these are the deep scars that we are dealing with. So we should, as Namibians, sit around the table and talk about the impact, that the negative impact this has on us as survivors, and also speak to the people whose loved ones are still missing or have disappeared.
Yeah. Are you recognized as a war veteran like others? Did you receive your package?
Yes, we are. We are, and this was not kind of like automatic.
Yeah.
There was this talk of people that have deserted the struggle that are not deserving, and we are kind of put in that category, whereas we did not. We were put away, not to contribute meaningfully as we wanted. So the International Center for Transitional Justice take that up, and they said that we will go to court if you deny these people that right to be a veteran. And that is one, sometimes people confuse this with it. We have that status deservingly. We deserve to be that. The issue that we are dealing with is different.
No, of course.
Sometimes people get confused and say that, but you are getting this grant, how? And it's not about the grant.
I totally agree.
The injustices that happen is what we are addressing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Pauline Dempers, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate your very insightful and also very painful story. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you. That is Pauline Dempers. She's a survivor of the Lubango dungeons, a topic that came to life again this week with the death of former military chief Solomon Jesus Hawala. Thank you for watching.